Welcome to the Burnt Pancakes Podcast. I am your host, Katie, and I am so excited that you're joining us for the very first momversation. I have on my best friend, Megan, who I have known since high school. She has been my partner in crime through everything, my rock in motherhood, and the one who introduced me to the phrase, everyone burns their first pancake. So it only makes sense that you are my first guest. Welcome, Megan.
Yay, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I love when I told you, I think I need to start a podcast. I think you were my first friend that I told. And you were like, awesome, I love it. When can I be on?
I would do anything with you, Kate. I'd go anywhere you go.
So fun. Okay, so let's introduce you to our listeners. Tell me how many kids you have and their ages.
I have 3. They are gorgeous, in case you're wondering.
My favorite kid. I love them.
They're good humans. I have a just 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. But it's hard to remember their ages. I don't know if you feel that way. They change.
I had to give someone my middle's birthday yesterday, and she was like, wait, it was what? And I'm like, did I give you the right one?
I signed up my youngest for soccer, put her in, whatever. All of a sudden, everything starts coming out. All the kids on the team are way older than her. I'm like, why are the kids way older than her? I had put in the wrong birthday when I signed her up for soccer. I was like, oh, good. Okay, great. I don't know their birthdays. I don't know how old they are.
Well, that's the perfect segue to our topic today. We're sharing our best mom fails.
Yes. There have been a lot.
Yeah.
I've had a lot.
You are my friend that I have been able to open up the most with.
Yeah.
So I think I can share these with you and with all of our listeners.
I feel like that's such a blessing to be able to share with each other or with a friend, to be able to say, like, none of us know what we're doing.
No.
This is so hard.
I still don't know.
I still don't know. I cry all the time trying to figure it out. And it's so hard. So it's such a blessing to be able to just laugh about it. Like, we're all burning them. All of them.
All burnt.
Not just the first pancake.
They're all burnt.
All of them.
Well, I think, and that was why you sharing that phrase with me was such a relief. Because I went from, do you remember where we were?
Yeah, in the backyard.
In her backyard. Yeah. My son had pooped his pants for like the 20th time in, there's something about your backyard.
I know.
That
well, it just
loosens his bells. I was like in a fit of rage. I had cleaned him. I had taken the trash out. I was like so
annoying.
upset.
So annoying. Yeah.
And when you said that, and it was so just like carefree, it was like, oh, this doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes.
And we can laugh at our mistakes.
Yeah. I think we have a lot of pressure feeling like as moms, like if we don't do it right, they're definitely turning out to be criminals.
And then that reflects on me.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It's
every time we go to the grocery store and they're out of control, I'm like, it's me. What's wrong with me?
What am I doing wrong?
Like as I was leaving the grocery store last week, this woman goes, I had all girls and mine would have never done that.
Thank you for that.
And
that was so kind of you.
I walked out. I'm sure she meant it in a nicer way.
No.
But we unloaded the car. I buckled my kids in and then gave them the longest lecture of my life. / they were trying to climb into the ice freezer, and I had told them multiple times, do not go in there.
They're explorers. They are interested in being Alaskans. They're good boys. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a good way to kick this off.
Yeah, that's great. That's hilarious.
All right, so how else have you burnt your pancakes? What other mistakes have you made that I would say learned from?
I feel like I have burned them nonstop. I mean, they're always regularly. I'm like, I've ruined them, Bradley. But I regularly say, at least they'll have something for therapy. You know, when they grow up, they'll be able to say,
"That's
my mom ruined
my
me."
middle."
That's fine.
We've talked about this multiple times. Our middles are more sensitive, would you say?
They have big feelings.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
That is good thing.
I love that. Big feelings
My
are a good
oldest
thing.
will fall off a cliff, get up, and be like, I'm okay. So if he does cry, I know, oh my God,
something's totally hurt. He's so strong.
My
He's so
middle,
tough,
you like barely touch his shoulder and he like bawls.
Yes. That actually just recently came up with us because our middle, you know, we've been reading The Boy Who Cries Wolf a lot and those kinds of things, trying to talk through. You know, you might have big feelings, but you need to also be able to share them with us, and you don't have to cry over everything. Anyway, our middle got a football to the face, which is just, you know, that happens. Yeah, it's just life with boys.
Sometimes I feel like their feelings are more hurt. So
yeah,
they cry.
totally.
So
and
you
that's
just
the thing.
don't know.
So you don't know. So it's hard to navigate this. Well,
and when they cry, like, 9 times a day.
Yeah, it gets a little bit. It's hard to know if it's real for real.
Yes, I get it.
I understand my husband feels this way about me though too, because I cry about everything. But anyway, he got a football to the face, and my husband and I were saying, "You're okay. Shake it off. You know that you're fine. Come on. There was no blood. If there's no blood,
you're not bleeding.
You're fine, right? You're fine if there's no blood." Well, the next morning he woke up. He complained all night about it, and my husband and I were like, "Enough of this." He woke up the next morning with 2 black eyes.
Oh my God.
And a really swollen nose, and the inability to smell or breathe out of his nose.
Oh no!
So I think we missed the mark in that school. Oh yeah, we sent him to school. Okay. We got to go to school. Yeah, that's fine.
And you tell your teacher it was
everything's
football.
Fine. Not that I punched them. That's my oldest has been in the ER at least 8 times before he was 5.
Stop it.
Because the kids just get hurt all the time.
Well, how is it that I have 3 boys?
Don't say it out loud.
Oh, okay. I should stop right now. The time we went was a Lego in the nose.
That's right. Okay,
but with that boy, how was?
How did that go?
I'm not gonna say. I absolutely freaked out. When he had a Lego in his
for
nose.
real.
It was.
But what's the trick? Didn't you learn a trick?
We tried. We told him to blow his nose, and it didn't work. So then I call my mom and say, "Mom, I need help. Come." We get everyone in the car. We go to the ER. The doctor tries to take like a little tweezer tool, and he was kind of course, I don't want anything in my nose.
Yeah.
He was a little jittery, so she's like, "Let me try something else," and she just like put a tissue there and was like, "Blow really hard," and I think the pressure had built up enough where it just like popped right out. I was like, "Great, I'm glad insurance is paying for the doctor to teach
blow your nose."
No.
It is hard to teach them to blow their nose.
From now on, I am like terrified of those little Legos. Anytime they're near their face, I'm like, put it down.
Don't put it in.
Yeah.
We went to our pediatrician appointment, and pediatrician appointments, I always feel so much pressure because we love our pediatrician.
I love mine.
I just really want to do a good job for her. I really want our kids to be good for her. But they never are. They're always awful in there. It's like putting in like caged monkeys in like a very consigned small box, and they go crazy. Anyway, one time we went and she's looking at the ears, checking the ears. She pulls out, no joke, a Nerf bullet about this big out of my middle's ear. And she's like, "What is going on around there? Are you letting him do that?" I don't know how long it had been in there. There was
I am letting him put that in his ear. Absolutely.
Totally. And then another time, they always ask, "What's your favorite fruit and vegetable?" to the kids.
Oh,
and my oldest, so proud, firstborn, so proud, says everything right. I'm like, oh, he's gonna nail it, because he really loves vegetables. Not really, he doesn't love vegetables, but like at least he'll have carrots.
He'll know enough to say
the right thing.
The doctor
to please the doctor.
He's not right in my chart.
Yeah, he says super proud. Veggie straws. I was like, that is not his favorite vegetable. That is not what we're eating.
Well, I did baby-led weaning with Ronan, where it's like you eat the sticks, or like the spears of food. You don't do purees. Like, give them what you're eating. Yes. And I thought, oh, I am going to have the best eaters. They are going to be such great eaters. Pizza, dino nuggets.
That's the
fishies.
Yeah.
That makes up their
corn
food
dogs
pyramid. Corn dogs lately. They really
love corn dogs.
And I feel so guilty every time I'm like throwing in a pizza, but
No, Katie cracked me up the other day. She was like, "Oh, my kids love fish. My oldest loves salmon. My second loves goldfish, and my third loves Swedish fish."
That's right.
And I thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, I can get on board with that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anything good.
Okay, speaking of pediatricians, do you remember last year during baseball? So our sons play baseball together, and while our little ones are running around like crazy and our other ones are in baseball, I let my 2 younger ones go into that little
like pitching
dugout
cage kind of,
right?
Like a little,
it's like a caged-in area. Yeah. And I just thought, okay, for like 5 minutes, I'm not gonna have to like worry about where they are. They're like,
well, and they couldn't figure out the lock, right?
Yeah, so I was like, here you go, guys, get in there. And then I saw 2 men walking up, and I thought, oh shoot, these coaches need to use it. You were like right by me. I remember you laughing at this. And I was like, oh, do you need to use that? They're like, no, we don't. And I was like, good, because I'm locking my kids up. And then I take a closer look at the 2 men. One being my kid's pediatrician, who also has kids at this baseball league and coaches there. And then I go,
hilarious.
Oh, I'm actually not locking them up. I'm just containing them. Oh God! I looked over at you and I was like, Mom
was
fail.
hilarious.
Mom fail.
That was so funny.
Another thing they're going to talk about in
Of course.
counseling.
Yeah.
My mom used to lock
us up
at
in
baseball.
cages. Yes. So funny. And the pediatrician, why do you want to please them so much? I want them I'm like, I always feel so bad.
On that
I want
form,
to
the questionnaire.
Yes. And she always types like this, like whatever we say. I'm like, oh no, what are you typing?
As you're filling it out, like, are they able to make a squiggly line? When you make a squiggly line, you're like, sometimes.
Definitely. Yes. Never had a problem with that. Are they not watching more than 2 hours of screen time a day?
For sure
Never.
not.
Never.
No. Juice or gummy candies?
No.
Never.
Is
feed
most
them.
of the food you feed them junk food? Absolutely
No
not.
way.
No.
Oh God, those
all
things,
organic.
They need to
They're
burn
terrible.
those. They need to burn those.
They're awful. And who answers them honestly? That's what I want to know, because I am not answering them very honestly.
No.
I'm like, no, not at all. Not at all. Have you ever dropped one of your kids?
Ronan fell off the bed as like an infant.
All right.
He rolled off.
Yes.
We've had a few like stroller accidents.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one time we had gone down. My husband's family was in town visiting, and you want to do a good job. You want to be like the best mom ever. And I was pushing the stroller. So
was this
proud.
your first?
This is actually my third.
Oh, okay.
So I'm feeling like,
I've got this. I'm a veteran.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about this. All of a sudden I hear a plop, and I'm like, what the heck was that noise? And I'm kind of looking around. My little 6-month-old baby had flopped out into the street.
What?
I was like, oh my goodness.
Out of the stroller.
Yeah, I had just figured out, they figure out, you think they're fine. And she was in fact buckled, but she had just kind of maneuvered her little, I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. She's definitely going to talk about that in therapy.
Those
someday.
little ones though, they're sneaky. I know. So when we were sleep training Jet, he was older than 6 months, but not a year yet.
Yeah.
But we had a really hard time with his sleep. That's when I felt my the worst failure as a mom is when it came to sleep.
The sleep training.
And we were trying, he just wasn't going to bed on his own. And I was like, he needs to start doing that. So we were like, okay, we're just going to put him in.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Temperature's fine. He's fed. We went through the checklist.
There's no blankets.
I was like, I'm just going to let him cry, but I know myself, I can't have that monitor near me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm putting the monitor away. We're just going to let him go. After 45 minutes, each minute that goes by just
it kills you.
When it's someone else's kid, it's not as bad. Your own kid, it's nails on a chalkboard.
Totally.
My husband,
awful.
I don't know if he felt that as much, but for me, I was like, oh my god,
dying.
I'm trying to watch the show, but all I hear is this baby. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at the monitor. I'll just check.
Sure. Yeah.
I looked, and his leg was stuck through the crib rail.
Oh my gosh!
And he was screaming because
he
was stuck. So then, of course, I race in.
Oh,
I push his little leg out, and he probably within a minute rolled over and went to sleep. And I was like,
they're exhausted.
I'm
so sorry. I will never make you cry again.
The good news, he doesn't remember that.
Thank goodness.
And
it's
he's
good they
my
don't
best
have
sleeper.
memory. Oh.
He is now the kid will hit the pillow and fall asleep, and will sleep in the latest.
See, isn't that funny? The things we think we're failing, they eventually work out, right? People always say this will pass, and I think when you're in it, it feels like this is never gonna pass.
No.
They're gonna suck their thumbs forever. This is just miserable. This is actually another mom fail. My oldest, well, actually a couple of them, I put them down for naps. I thought, they're doing such a good job sleeping. This is so great. And then after about an hour, I'm like, I better go in there and just check on them and see if they're done napping. I got in there, and there was poo smeared all over it. The walls,
my God.
all over
no wonder you were
crib.
so quiet.
Yes, because they had gotten into their diaper. They had unzipped their little onesie thing, figured it out, and then just started smearing it all over the place.
A mural, Mom. I'm Da Vinci.
Yes. They looked so proud.
Oh my God.
All of them. Because all of my kids,
two in there?
Yeah, 2 of them had done it, yes. And I was like, what are you guys doing?
How did
this
you
is
even
awful.
clean them?
Oh, I was so overwhelmed. I put them straight in the bath. And then I had to tackle them with
gosh.
barely any water. It was terrible.
But they're fine now, right?
They're totally fine now.
They
Thank
excel
goodness.
at art.
Yeah.
A+.
They're excellent in finger painting. So that's wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
They've definitely excelled in that. Yeah.
But honestly, it does not get better as they get older. like, I'm still finding days where I'm like, oh, that was a fail.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot to pick up Ronan from school one day. Oh.
I am like dreading the day that happens.
Oh my God. And I thought I was so on. It was a weird week though. We had like no school Monday.
Yeah.
No school Tuesday because of elections.
Yes.
They do like elections
sometimes.
like voting.
Yeah.
So school Monday, no school Tuesday, half day Wednesday, their normal minimum day Wednesday, and then Thursday was end of the trimester half day. And I remember
I would never notice that.
I got Maverick to sleep. Jet was like busy working on something. I like sat down in my office. I'm like, oh, this is heaven. I'm doing some work. Then the school calls, and you know your first thought is, did he
Somebody's
puke?
hurt. Yeah.
Did he puke or is he hurt? Oh God, which one? Hello, I just want to let you know I have Ronan in the office. Today was minimum day.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, it was like 1:15.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I was like, my first thought was, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be right there. I'm on my way. I was like, I'll be right there. Luckily, he was not as a kid, I would have been
so
bawling.
traumatized.
My mom was a minute late and I was,
for sure.
And he was like, hey mom, why didn't you get me? And I was like, we're going to Starbucks. We're getting cake pops. I'm so sorry. And he was like, okay,
it's fine, whatever. Yeah. Thank goodness he just rolls with it.
Oh my gosh.
That's my dad's advice was that kids bounce. Like both figuratively and literally. Like I've dropped them all a number of times.
They fell out of the stroller. They bounced right back up.
She bounced and she was totally fine. I feel like they all do bounce, you know? Like it's just, you know, you forget them at school. They don't really notice. They'll be fine. It's okay. Right. They're good. Right.
Or when like they have a massive meltdown within 2 seconds. Or you could just like, distract them.
Yes.
Like I've been doing that with Maverick lately. Like he's like crying about something. And it's like, oh, hey, remember that thing we just got? Let's go get it. And then he'll be like, oh, wait, huh?
And he's fine.
Yes.
He's
I like the distraction method. I've been using that a lot.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. The kids, if you can distract them, then they're happy, which I think is wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's terrible.
Tell me a little bit about how picture day goes at your house. Because this is something that has like been really hard for us the last couple of years.
Picture day is awful, isn't it?
Okay.
Why is
are you wear whatever you want, be yourself? Or? Okay,
so at first I was really hardcore about they had to wear like colored shirts, like buttoned up, and their hair had to be like perfect. I really wanted really good pictures.
Yours always look put together.
No, but then their faces looked all crazy in them. So I gave up. I was like, I can't do it anymore. And then I thought, shouldn't they wear like what reflects who they are at that point, right?
Well,
like at that point in time?
I have learned that lesson. And I learned it the hard way. So kindergarten, Ronan didn't really care.
Okay.
First grade, he started.
So you put him in a nice shirt then?
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I'm trying to remember. It's probably like an Argyle sweater, like in like September.
Totally. Yeah. When it's 100 degrees.
Something like super cute. His hair all cute. Well, now he has to have his hair like, I want it cool. I want it like this. And it's not cool. It's not like, cool. Oh God, I hate your haircut.
Not cool at all.
You never do it. It looks like it's a mess. So each year it's been harder and harder to get him to wear like something nice, like even a button up like Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
But I always tell him, I'm like, these pictures mean a lot to your grandmas.
Yes.
And they're gonna,
that's cute.
they literally have them all up in their house. I'm like, can't you just look nice one day a year? So
how's that been going? Yeah.
This year, he's in 3rd grade now, so starting to like have his opinions. He's 3rd going on like he's like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
We had him wear, it was like fight all morning. Like, I don't want to wear this. I just want to wear my t-shirt. And his t-shirts are like wrinkled, faded, ugly pattern.
What is it about the clothes they fall in love with? I don't understand.
It's awful.
There seems no rhyme or reason.
So awful.
Right?
Sweatpants and like the shirt that has the hole.
He loves.
Is the one I want.
Is that weird?
So then we were like, okay, wear your regular shirt. You put this button-up shirt over it and take it off the minute you take the picture. And even that was like a fight. Okay. It was a fight. And then I was like, why am I fighting this?
I know.
So then we were like, how'd picture day go? He's like, great, good, good. And then we get the pictures back a week later, and I was like,
how did they go?
You jerk. You were not wearing your button-up. You
did
took
you take it off before you did
And it's literally like this old Vans t-shirt where like the lettering on it is like crinkled, like peeling off.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But now, like in 20 years, I'm going to look back and be like,
he loved that.
Yeah, that's him.
It's true.
One day you're going to be put together and I'm going to be like,
yes.
Okay.
That was, someone told me one time to take a picture when you are going to lose your mind. Like, for example. So watch.
So like this morning.
So that's, yeah. Like I had just made like a healthy smoothie for my, firstborn. Like, okay, here's your smoothie. Drink your smoothie.
The homemade baby food.
Yes, everything is perfect, whatever. And he took it. He was probably like 3 years old, and he got kind of frustrated about something. Took it and threw it onto our like white carpet.
Oh my! It was probably blueberry.
It was blueberry. It was black. The smoothie
gosh.
was like purple black, like dark, and it ended up in every crevice of that carpet.
Oh,
I was.
It was like that Berber. The, like,
yes,
really
it
thick.
held. Yes, that's exactly what it was. It held it so thick and so tight, and I had to like. I was just at my end. I was so mad. I was so frustrated. And I took a picture of it, and the lady had said, "You'll laugh about these things."
I would have never thought to do that.
So I took a picture because I was like, "I'm going to lose my mind, and this is not funny, and I will never laugh about this." Now, when I look at that picture, I laugh so hard. I think it's hilarious. Like he's such a
make
stinker.
a book out of that would be so funny.
Yes,
and then
of
to
all
show
these
your
awful,
kids later.
Like, look at all the awful things you did.
Look at this.
I don't understand. Like when they say, "Oh, Mom, I'm embarrassed by you." I'm sorry. Let us talk.
Here's my book.
Yeah, let me show you all the ways you've
Blueberry
embarrassed
in the
me.
carpet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, that's going to be another topic.
That's
all the times they've embarrassed them.
Yes. Like the day that one of them pooed on my husband's boss. That was great. That was a good day. I felt great about myself that day.
My thought was just last week when Jet mooned the camera at the grocery store.
No, he didn't.
You know how they have like sometimes
Yes.
TV set up?
And you can
He
see
was
it.
so excited. He was like, Mom, we're on TV.
Oh my goodness.
Mom,
Oh
look,
my
we're on
goodness.
TV. He was like
That's
dancing in
awful.
the aisle, and I'm like getting, bacon and this.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
I look over, and I was like,
Why
get your pants up. Oh my God. And then I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
I don't know.
that my
Makes
child
you think
thinks
they should do
this
that.
is appropriate.
I don't understand that. Boys. What is with boys and buns?
It is.
Yeah.
Again,
It's boys.
pray for me.
Yeah.
I have 3 boys. Pray for me. Every time I see a mom of all boys who have like grown kids.
Yeah,
like,
how did you do
one
that?
of our neighbors,
Yeah.
like I just love her. I always say, how did you survive this?
Yes.
How? And,
yeah.
Like,
what's their advice? Do they ever have?
They always say, you will. It's gonna be fine.
I'm pretty confident that they have amnesia or perhaps Alzheimer's because they have
it's like
no
pregnancy.
memory of what happened.
Do you remember pregnancy
Yeah.
is like the worst pain
I don't
ever?
remember any of it.
And then you're done, and like it lingers a little bit, the memory.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
as it goes on, you're like, let's
That
have
wasn't
a
that
second.
bad. Yeah.
Let's have a third. Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna be glowing.
Yeah.
I was not glowing. I was mostly just sweating. That's mostly what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh. Don't
That's
get
so
that.
funny.
Well, I hope I'm that mom though. In years from now, I'm like, it was not that bad.
I know. Yeah. I don't know that I will.
I'm not ready to say
I'm
that
not
yet.
sure that I'll be that way.
No.
Yeah. Or at least the mom that says like, you can do this.
Right.
Like this is hard, and it's okay that it's hard.
Don't you?
You're doing it.
Don't you feel like when you go to the grocery store and you see a meltdown, you just want to look at that mom, like, look at me in the eyes, like, you're okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
That's-
Well, and I think this is part of the reason I started this podcast.
Yes.
Like when they talk
I
about like
love it.
healing your inner child, I'm like, this is my way of healing my inner
Mother.
mom, my inner mom who just like needed a hug, and I didn't know
Yes.
how to ask for that.
Totally.
So now, Katie, I'm speaking to you. You're gonna be fine. It's
You're gonna
gonna
be
all
okay.
turn out great.
You're gonna be totally fine.
Yeah.
I feel like motherhood is like motherhood, like we're in the gang or something like that, and like you've been jumped into a gang by supermarket meltdowns. Like that's your initiation into the gang.
That's a very good metaphor.
Yeah, it's like
And
we're really in
but
the
from
hood.
the outside, you think it's gonna be
Motherhood.
blissful and like beautiful.
I know.
And
Yes.
I wanted that. I planned
really
for
did
that.
think
Well,
that.
I feel like my mistakes happened before I even had the kids. I found out that my first pregnancy, he was breech, and I found out at like 32 weeks.
Yeah.
Before I think we had done the hospital class, the delivery class, whatever. No, maybe we hadn't. But I remember my doctor, who has delivered thousands of babies.
Yeah.
She's so nonchalant. She's like, yeah, your baby's breech. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Oh, he hasn't turned yet. And I was like, is that supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, he has to
When
come
is
out?
he?
Oh my God. But she was like, yeah, it's like an 85% chance that he won't turn and you'll have a C-section. And my
All nonchalant, says it just like
no
that.
big deal.
I know.
Like this happens every day.
know,
But for
yeah.
me, it was like, no. I've had 33 years of living with birthing hips, and you are not going to tell me that this baby is
It's not coming through these burning
coming
hips.
out of those hips. Oh my gosh. So then I proceeded to Google everything I could about how to flip a baby.
it.
And there literally are websites. Like, I think it's called Flipping Babies.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yes. I played
Went from
Turn Around.
flipping babies to flipping pancakes.
Oh, you're a good one. I listened to Turn Around. Turn around.
Oh my gosh,
I played that for my stomach.
You did not.
I laid with my legs up and like my head
Are
on
these
the
all
ground.
things they said to do?
Yes, they say to do.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
hilarious.
probably spent $1,000 going to
Trying
a
to get into
chiropractor
switch. Yeah.
who did the most insane, painful, like they like rub on your hip flexors, like rub like super hard. And I remember she turned to me and she was like, "Wow, you're gonna do great in childbirth because you've got great pain tolerance." And I was like, "Yeah, if I even get to birth this baby." It was awful. And at one point when she was doing it, I did feel him move a little bit, but like anatomically, I think he just did not have room.
Yeah.
Remember, like I was so tiny with
you
that
were
pregnancy.
so tiny.
I had zero
So
water.
tiny.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I had zero water, whereas with my other two, I had like way too much water. And the babies were like flipping around in there. But I spent so much effort thinking I can fix this.
Yeah,
I
totally.
can do it right. When it
Totally.
was like he was just going to be born a C-section.
Yes.
He is fine.
Yes. And I feel like that's what motherhood is. It's like a lesson in releasing control. Like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
cannot control who they are. Like, they are
Yes.
born, like, that Ronan Cambridge suits him perfectly.
Suits him perfectly. He is stubborn,
He's gonna
independent.
do it his
I'm gonna
own
do it my
way.
His hairdresser,
own
so we
way.
go, or barber, sorry. His barber who gives him those awesome haircuts. Like, they're super cool when he does it.
Looks
when
really
I try.
good. Really good
But
at the
Ronan has two, like, swirl, the
Calyx.
swirl calyx
Yep.
on his head.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, his hair just does not want to go the way I try and put it. It's so stubborn. And I looked at my husband and I was like,
Of course
sums
it
up
is.
my child.
Of course it is.
Every ounce of him, every part of his body.
Goes against what he should.
And for me as a first-time mom, it was like,
Yeah.
that was too much of a shock
Well,
for
and
me.
a rule follower. Like, I feel like we're rule followers,
Yes.
right? Like,
I read
somebody
the
tells
books.
us what to do. Yeah, we're going to read the books.
The
We're gonna
book
try
said
to-
you are 2 weeks old and you are supposed to
be
sleep
sleeping
2
this
hours.
much. Yeah.
And you just
You are
woke up
not
after 20 minutes. That's
You
not
are
correct.
not following the book. This
and
is
I
not
did something
acceptable.
wrong. I
Yeah.
literally, I had that
Felt like
book
everything
sitting
had done,
there.
done everything wrong. I think that's so hard. That's the hard part of motherhood. And they are
Motherhood
who
is
they
a
are.
lesson in letting go.
It really is, yeah.
That
And
is such a
releasing.
good
I can't
phrase.
control them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're gonna be who they're meant to be. And like I think it's just our job to like guide them towards that.
Yeah.
And help them to get where they're supposed to
and
go.
pray.
Yeah.
Pray really hard.
Lots of prayer over them.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
Totally.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, I feel like we could go on and on and on about this,
About burning them.
but I don't want my viewers to lose faith in my ability to mother, because I do feel like they
You
are
are a
turning
really
out
good
okay.
mama,
And your
too.
kids are
Yeah.
so great. Like,
Yeah.
I tell my husband all the time, like, why can't they just act like Megan's kids? They're so well behaved.
No, that's not. I say, why aren't they burning our house down like Katie's kids?
One day that'll be an asset.
It will though. Your boys are gonna conquer the world because they're strong, and that's a good quality. They're gonna be strong and
that makes me think
amazing,
Ronan
driven.
was so hard for me as a little guy because he was
Yeah.
so independent and like. But when he started preschool,
It's a good quality.
I was like the mom,
Not
that was
afraid.
Like, bye, honey. Have a good day.
Yes.
Where these other moms are like, he's crying.
He's not
what
gonna
do
be
I do?
okay. Exactly.
So then I was
you
like,
know he'll be okay. Your boys are gonna be
like,
strong.
Slowly,
Yeah.
I'm starting.
Yeah.
But then you get the note from the teacher, and you're like, I am not okay right now.
We're doing great.
We're fine.
It's fine. We're getting through.
Oh, Megan, thank you so much for being on
we're
this
so
first
fun.
episode. This was so
Yay.
fun that I am going to have you come back on.
I would love to come back on, and I'm
great.
so proud of you. This is
Oh,
so fun.
thank you.
Yay.
And for all of you listening, please make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a single momversation. And remember that everyone burns their first pancake, so just keep flipping.
Just keep flipping.